All right. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I wanted to touch base. Today, we're going to be covering capture leads with social media. This is part of our Ignite series. Um, Something I wanted to mention, just so we can clear any confusion. Um, this series of Ignite is operating differently, where I'm teaching every one of the sessions, right? As you may have noticed, for those of you who have been in this journey with me, and for those of you who are new, welcome. Thank you for being here. Wanted to touch base regarding social media. So for today's class, we are going to go over the material. I have some additional bonus material to cover. And then this Friday, we will have an enrichment course. So every Friday, I was creating enrichment where you have hands-on experience with your peers, with people who we're tapping into their superpowers. Last Friday would have been open houses, but we had bad weather and Bill Uri was out sick. So, and we shifted and Bill attended open houses yesterday and added value there. Today, we're focused on Ignite capture leads with social media. Friday, we have our enrichment course. So this Friday we will have Helen Bridier and Jamin Gecker. I don't know how to say his last name. Um, Jamin G. He is a YouTube master, and Helen has built her business around social media. So they will be giving us a master class, kind of a nice roundtable discussion this Friday from 9 to 11. So definitely wanted to touch base with you guys on this. So the purpose of today's class is to cover the basics regarding social media. I'll be tossing in a couple of other things that we can look at. But again, we'll have guest speakers Friday. So for those of you who are just tuning in. Okay. Otherwise, welcome, welcome. All right. So let's just get started. As always, just remember we want to follow TCPA guidelines. Do not call registry. Also, remember we negotiate commissions. Whenever there's a conversation, commissions are negotiable, so we don't want to say that it's set by law. We honor fair housing. And AI disclaimer, basically, if you're using AI, please trust but verify. Trust but verify the source. Know where the source of the information is coming from. And that's really important. Just like in college, just like in high school English, it's like, where's your textual evidence? You can't just trust your Google foo to be correct. Where's that information coming from? Because AI will make mistakes. So, anyway. That's just my 2 cents. Okay, wonderful. So this week we're covering lead generation. That's the theme for this week. We had covered generate your leads, grow your database, capture leads with open houses. And today we're talking about capturing leads with social media. Okay, so today's agenda, we're going to be covering the 10-5-1 engagement system. For those of you who have been involved in Ignite, um, this is nothing new for you guys. This is like your daily homework. So you guys are like, yeah, we got this, we got it. So good. For those of you that don't know, we'll cover it in detail, and we'll definitely be talking about some strategies around it. We'll talk about posting practice, social media strategies. We'll recap, talk about any ahas. As always, whenever you're attending a course, I think it's really important that you take notes about like, ooh, how has this changed my thinking? Number one. Number two, what are you going to put into action? What are your actionable items? So by the time we're done with this course, you should already have in mind, like, great, I've learned some things. Um, Even if you may already be aware or you're using social media at a high level, what you want to do is to be able to know, like, okay, let me have these notes here. What are my actionable items? What is it that I'm going to take action today that will make a difference in my business? So that's truly something I want you all to keep in the back of your mind, because when I come to, okay, our recap and ahas, I don't want to be here like crickets. Like, what's happening? I want to hear from you. I want to hear, like, okay, what's your action step? You should already have it written down, knowing, like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, great. And then for those of you that are in Ignite, we have our daily success system. Like, what are you working towards? Oh, did I go backwards? Okay, what are we working towards? Um, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, for those of you who have been with Ignite, we're going to talk about our daily success system. It's our accountability. Basically, have you made your calls? And you have homework each day. So, all right. Well, let's get started. So, it takes time to learn something, more time to implement it, and even longer to approach mastery of it. Gary Keller. Any thoughts on this quote? What comes to mind when we hear this?
Well, things take time for sure. And yeah, in my reasoning or the way I view that quote is, takes time to build a foundation, and then you still have to construct and, finish. And these things take a while, and
Mhm.
it don't rush things, I guess.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So for those of you that might not have heard, Jeremy said, it's building a good foundation. It takes time. It takes time to like exercise a muscle, right? To get it to be nice and strong. And so bite-sized pieces. That's why I'm like, what's that one actionable step? So, especially when it's a new habit, it's easy to fall off course or have like really great big ideas and plans. I just want you to implement one thing. All right. All right. So we're going to touch on the 10-5-1. Can anyone remind me, anybody on Zoom who's been with us in Ignite can answer this? Um, can someone tell me about the 10-5-1 engagement system? Kelsey or Stephanie or Isaac, Jacob?
10 likes, 5 comments, one the instant message, direct
Beautiful.
message.
Yep. Yep. So, yes. So 10 likes, 5 comments, and one DM message or one post. So social media is a super powerful and free marketing tool. Um, and especially if you're new and starting out, like what an excellent opportunity to be able to um, earn business in an organic way at a very low cost. Like truly. And we're seeing it in action. Like we have folks that are currently in Ignite that are using social media at a high level, and they're like, yep, we're getting leads from Instagram. People like my post. I have more followers, or they, like Jeremy here, he's been doing like 1 minute video walkthroughs and has been getting a lot of engagement from that. So it works. It's just what is the system? How do we get it to work for you, right? So then you're going to expand your sphere with your smartphone and then engage with your followers. So yeah, absolutely. That 10-5-1. And then for those of you that are in Ignite right now and are using the 10-5-1, what are you noticing as you do this?
Again, just Instagram itself, you know, puts my stuff out there more because they want to see you using. And so when you're actually using it in a constructive manner, they appreciate that. And then when you make a post, even if it's a quick, crappy one, which I have done a couple times,
Yeah,
it's actually gotten a lot more than I thought it was because,
sweet.
and people engage with you. And one thing I've noticed is not all the time people will like comment on it, but when I see people out, that especially I haven't seen in a while, they brought it up that like, you know, they've seen and liked my stuff. And
Sweet.
so yeah.
Yeah. So definitely, so Jeremy's seeing a lot more engagement. Like Instagram wants you to post more to be able to put more content out there for more followers, more engagement. And then even people within his circle are like, hey, they notice, like, what is he doing? Like, oh, that's fantastic. Or I love this reel. Yeah, I love that. All right, let's keep going. Okay. So this is like in our 10-5-1 system, we definitely want to like do like 10 likes a day. And the importance of that is that you are showing other people love on their posts. And think of it as like spreading positivity. If there's something that you enjoy that is uplifting or um, then people feel like, oh, wow, they liked my page or they liked this certain post. It really does something as far as the algorithm is concerned, it really, really helps to solidify that. Um, and then how does interacting with social media help your business? Any thoughts on Zoom?
You can get referrals off of social media or leads off of social media. And it also shows your knowledge base. So if you're sharing content about the market or a home, you're showing somebody that you're knowledgeable about your
Mm-hmm.
trade.
Absolutely. Yes. And it's getting you out there. It's kind of like a touch, right? It's keeping you top of mind, which I think is really important. Okay, so then we also talk about like making 5 comments. And again, especially engaging with different people each day, or you're encouraging them to share more content as such. Mm, so then when you do like the 5 comments, it doesn't have to be like a super long comment. It could totally be like, um, and not just like emojis. Sometimes you want to mirror and match, like, and actually comment on the content that they have, like, and maybe how did it make you feel? How did it change your thinking? Or words of encouragement. Sometimes life happens. You'll have life events. Sometimes people will put something up that's fun or something that's silly or something recreational, something happening with family, maybe a mindset. Um, there's so many things that people post about. Think about how are you contributing to social media? What is the story that you're sharing in social media, and how are you carrying yourself out there? Does that make sense? Jeremy, what has your experience been with social media as far as like when you're commenting on posts?
The big thing is first making sure that you're commenting and liking local people or
Mm-hmm.
people themselves. Like
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of memes that doesn't
Yes.
really help. But spreading positivity or relating to them. My favorites are actually the snowstorms and weather right
Mm-hmm.
now because people are talking about shoveling and it's like my back feels the same way you do.
Yes.
Like, just like stuff like that of relating or and keeping positive and encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
People appreciate that. And that usually is what gets a response back. And, that's all you just need one response back. You don't need to have a whole conversation.
Perfect. Exactly.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear that? Those of you on Zoom?
Yes, I
Yeah.
can hear it.
You could hear it? Okay,
Yep.
super. Yay. Thank you for answering. Um, yeah, I think Jeremy brought up some really great points. Like, um, also I think I was going to say in regards to that, if you're commenting on something and they respond back, don't ghost them. Like keep the conversation going. Not that you have to like have a whole book. If you feel like you need to take it, into a direct message or offline, then Yay, bonus points. But I love the fact that, again, as professionals, and what is the image really that we're or the energy that we're wanting to put out there. It's one of positivity, one of encouragement, one of being helpful, one of gratitude, one of humility. Like, pick those words. Remember when we went over our value proposition, like, what is the value that you're bringing to the community? We are in a service industry. And so think about when you've received great customer service and someone has engaged with you, how does that make you feel? Right? And so same, we want to be of service, encouraging, positive. And so think about that. And I love the fact that Jeremy brought up the fact that we certainly want to be very focused on our local community. So if you are liking or commenting, you're looking to create connection with people who are local, and not just comment on a meme or like, someone who you really don't know. So engaging with your sphere, and we talked about the people that you know, the people that you're friends with on social media. Or if you see that there's a common connection, making friends, reaching out, trying to grow the amount of followers or grow the amount of contacts or friends that you have on social media.
Yeah, I have one more thing.
Yeah, please.
So when people are like, somebody posts about a loss, try and make sure you're using positive words and not negative. Like, don't just post sorry for your loss. Be like, it sounds like this person was a wonderful person of your life, wishing you and your family the best.
I love that.
And you're trying to use the positive tones in your words.
Yes.
Because I'm sorry for your loss is just there's a negative connotation.
Oh, interesting.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
When you're
that
thinking
makes
about
sense.
the meaning of words and stuff. So
Yeah.
try and use positive influxes and
Oh,
stuff.
that's a good perspective. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, absolutely. Like, and certainly when you're commenting, like, look at people's like what's happening in life. Use it as an opportunity, as a touch, because there are people who are dying, people who are having babies, people who are moving, people who have gotten a new job. Those are opportunities for you to reach out and communicate with them. And it's a touch. Okay. I have a question for those of you on Zoom. Have you received, like, for those of you who post on social media, have you received a comment that made you feel seen or heard? And what did they say that made you feel that? And what did you post? Can someone give me an example of like, wow, like I was seen, I was heard.
I'll chime in. This is Nani. How are
Hi,
you?
Nani.
Um, what I think always makes me feel great, just keeping it to real estate, is when you're in these communities and different groups and you're actively engaging them, is when somebody says, yeah, call Nani for your real estate needs. She's the best, or whatever. And
Yeah.
so when you're really engaged in some of these groups, people will refer you. So I think that's awesome.
Yes, I love that. Absolutely. That is the best. And if you're in that position and you are being tagged as a realtor and they're like, hey, like, don't forget to thank them on Zoom. I mean, not Zoom, on social media. Like, comment on that. Like, thank you so much. And maybe even not only there, but like, remember we talked about when you get referrals, like, how do we thank people? Voice to voice is always so powerful. It's like, hey, I saw that you tagged me on social media, maybe picking up the phone and connecting with them voice to voice, and then just checking in on them. How's things? How's life? Every opportunity for connection. That's our job, is connection. So I love, Nani, thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, it's nice to, like, especially out of the blue, Like I have some clients that are like tagging me. I'm like, whoa, like thank you for thinking of me. And it's really, really nice. Anybody else want to share anything?
I think just I've had some professional experience on like LinkedIn and stuff, and I think when kind of along the same lines, when someone just speaks to your professionalism, um, and how they've felt working with you, it always feels good to get those testimonials back. But also just on a personal level, recently my grandpa passed, and I think, what we were saying before, just being there for somebody and just saying if they need anything, and letting people know that there's people thinking about you.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yes, absolutely. Well, great. Thank you very much for sharing. Great. All right. And then we're moving into one share, direct message, or an original post. So when we talk about the 10-5-1, so far in Ignite, we've talked about 10 likes, 5 comments, and then we talked about one direct message or to like do an original post. This also can include one share. So think about this as like your daily task. And I would actually encourage you to do multiple things like direct message someone daily, and included in that, do a post daily. And then there's ways to get this scheduled and done. And think about like, if you're like, well, what am I going to communicate about, or what am I going to put, on social media? We'll touch on that here shortly, but really this is the cadence. If this is part of your lead generation, I know for some of you that feels like a bad word, but this is your job. This is your superpower is connection. So how are we going to connect with people? And that's all you have to do. Like, and then time yourself so that way you're not falling into the trap of the social media time warp where you're like, oh, bunny trail, and then go somewhere else. If you are that person, then maybe set a timer. This is how much time you're going to dedicate to social media, so that way you can move on to other things. Okay. Um, okay, so here's some thoughts. So then when you're doing private messages, we kind of touched on like, hey, there are life events that happen. Maybe it's somebody's birthday and, we'll post on their wall, but what if you also reached out to them via direct message and asked them for their mailing address? Remember, we talked about updating your contact list to make sure that if you're using Command and that's your platform, that the health score for your contacts are at least 80%. If you don't have their address, this is an excellent opportunity to ask them for their address and be able to update their mailing address so you can update the contact. Another thing is like if you have friends who are artists or someone who is very creative or has started their own business, wouldn't it be nice for you to be able to like promote them and share their posts, or be able to find out from them like a bit more information, and you're engaging them saying, oh my goodness, comment on their art, comment on something that you noticed that you admired about them. Or if someone's in sports or doing some type of outdoor activity, if you want to just live vicariously through someone else, if they're traveling and they're posting travel photos, like commenting and engaging, I know that it made me feel good. Like if I'm posting photos about like what I've done, where I've traveled, that people were excited for me. And I love that feeling. Think about what excites you. It's nice that people notice or see you. Um, and then by doing like direct messaging, we're finding those connections. Do you guys have anything else to add to that or any other ideas?
One thing I like to do, especially for direct message,
Hmm.
is watch everybody's stories.
Oh,
Because
yes.
it's their daily lives and you
Hmm.
see exciting things and then you comment on that in a conversational sense and then that generates into a conversation.
Like, yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
love stories. I love it because then you can add to these stories
Yeah.
and then it's like a little snippet, kind of like a
Yeah.
little movie of their life.
Exactly. And it's their daily
Hmm.
life. Like it's not something that's maybe on the grid, but you're
Yes.
seeing what's happening that day. And
Yeah,
so,
I
yeah.
love it. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Any ahas, any thoughts about anything we've talked about or any comments, anything you'd like to add? All right, we'll keep going. All right, we're going to talk about posting practice. Okay, so there is the 80-20 posting practice principle. So 80% should be personal. People want to know, like, what kind of human are you? We all are human, and we are a spectrum of humans. And we just love to be able to see like what's happening in someone's life. Like, if you are find yourself to be a very private person or don't necessarily want to post, anything about your kids, that's totally fine. Maybe it's something of your interests, if you enjoy cooking or if you're a foodie and you're like, oh my gosh, you're posting like, hey, I checked out this new restaurant and this is something I enjoy. Talk about like things that are of interest to you. Um, and then the 20% principle is around business because in reality, like if you're looking and you're scrolling, are you wanting to be able to see um, are you wanting to see like everything business? No, you want to know who's the human behind the business. So, what are some things that you guys post for personal? Like, what are some of your interests? And we'll start with you guys on Zoom. Let me get three of you. What are some of your interests that you like to do?
I think it's really fun to kind of do maybe even kind of a combo of both. I know there's a lot of like festivals and activities around obviously Anchorage and the Valley area, and that we tend to go to a lot as a family. So being able to post those activities that you're going to is a personal thing that gets, people get to know you as a person and what you like to do. But it's
Yeah.
also a business post as well because you're showing the area and what activities there are to do around the area.
Hmm. Exactly. Yes, and we're beautiful, and we're going to touch on that too. Totally. Like, people want to work. People want to work with other people that they can relate to, that they like, that they trust. So, showing some authenticity, showing things that you find of interest, or like you like to do things as a family, they see you as a family person, then there are people out there that are going to totally relate to that and already will get to know you and like you through social media. Make sense? Great. Two more. What else? What else do you guys like to post about personally?
I'll go. I do a lot of our adventures, just like the airboat rides, dip netting out at our cabin, hunting out at our cabin, just
Mhm.
enjoying like our family time and stuff like that. And those always get a lot more, comments, questions and stuff, especially since we've been building our new cabin and a root cellar and people asking questions about that.
Beautiful. Yeah, for sure. And especially think about the people in the lower 48. If you start to like friend people or maybe even other referral partners who are in the lower 48 who know nothing about Alaska, and then you're giving them a taste of Alaska. Like this East Coast girl, like I grew up in the city, and one of my first dates with my husband was he took me out hunting, deer hunting in Maryland. And I'm like, I can't see my hands in front of me. And he's like, stop walking so loud. You're crunching all the leaves beneath your feet. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So imagine this East Coast girl moving to Alaska. And now my family's like, oh my gosh, you guys live in igloos? Like, no, but they love to be able to see the photos of Alaska or whatever adventures we do as a family. But Kelsey, what an opportunity. Like, make friends with people in the lower 48 and grow your referral database and have them follow you on social media. That's what came to mind. Cool. Exciting. All right, what else? Who else? One more.
I know that I
Okay.
should post more photos of my grandbaby.
Yes. Yes, you should. Like
Uh,
people love
so
babies.
yeah, but I do a lot of just like I mean sports that I'm involved in and activities. I mean, if something that you do or show up to, I think more than once a week, I mean, post those activities. So because people in those communities will notice. So yeah. But I should
Exactly.
do more of my grandbaby.
You should. Like
You
babies sell.
should.
Babies sell
Especially,
things.
I saw this one the other day where the baby was wearing my favorite realtor and it said my grandma on it. So you should totally
Oh.
get something like that. It'd be so
Yeah,
cool.
that's why I'm here because I need to get better at posting. So yeah.
Yay, good. I think we all can. And this is at least a good framework and guideline. Like, what are our daily tasks? Like, okay, what are we going to do today? And what's our actionable step? But I love this guideline of like, all right, we got to get out there. And all we have to do is like 10 posts and comment on five and then direct message. And if that's part of our daily practice, rather than like, you must make cold calls, you must, no, like, let's make this part of your practice. So I love it. Thank you guys for sharing. All right. All right, we're going to talk about the 80%. Can someone read personal interest posts for me?
Pets, art, cooking, baking recipes, exercising or working out, outdoor adventures, live music, and team sports.
Yes. Beautiful. Thank you. Like it's so much fun. And then like also when you're posting about your personal interests, like um keep track, just notice who is liking that. I think it's important because people love to live vicariously through you, or they are your champions. They're the ones who are like, oh, yay, or excited for you. Um, or if you're updating your photo and maybe there's a snowy background or you've got the northern lights behind you or you're whatever, like notice what people like and how they engage. And then and I'm just tossing this in out there, um make note if you are commenting on someone's post, and this isn't even part of this of this framework here, but this came to mind like because we've been talking about taking notes in command. Like when you are taking notes and you're engaging with someone or whatever your CRM is, however you're keeping track of how you're communicating with your leads, wouldn't it be great if you're commenting or liking on 10 posts or engaging with people? Wouldn't it be nice for you to be able to add a note into their contact? Like, oh, so and so just got a puppy. Wonderful. Like, then what's your next actionable step? If they're a client, could you send like milk bones to them for their puppy or like little treats for their puppy? If someone had a life circumstance or something happened, and you wanted to send them flowers, if they are like in your VIP, those are the people you really want to nurture and care for. Can you make a note? Or someone just had a baby. What's the baby's name? When is the baby's birthday? Make a note there. Now you're gathering information and adding it to your CRM. Maybe you start to add tags, and we talked about tags earlier. When you're tagging your contacts, like what are their interests? If you want to tag the pet people, then you have pets. Or if you want to tag the people who are into golf or into cross-country skiing or the jiu-jitsu people, I think that's important because then if there are events or something catches your eye, like local happenings, or maybe there's family events, you know, that someone has a family with young kids, maybe you tag that, you know, with young kids. And so then now, if you have a bunch of these tags with your contacts, now you can be very hyper focused, rather than sending, let's say, rather than a mass email about like family stuff or a mass email about like this cross-country skiing event. I'm just using loose examples here. But now you have tags of people who you know have this interest, and then you're hyper focused on them, which then lends to the opportunity to create micro events. Like we have so many opportunities to touch people, and social media is just one avenue. It's a great way to get a little bit of intel. Me, I should have been a personal investigator. I love to gather intel on people. I probably am watching you guys too. I'm kidding. But it's like, help me learn a little bit about you and help people learn a little bit about yourself. Like, what are you putting out there? What is the story that you're telling about yourself, right? So think about your personal interest posts. I will say this, and I say this with much love. Be very cautious about being polarized, right? We are in an industry where we're watched, and we also have to think about ethically, like we live by a code of ethics, and as realtors, that is our responsibility. So the note I want to make here is often people can get very polarized about things happening in the world or politics or religion, whatever that is. And I would just invite you, since you all are realtors, is to try to stay neutral and be very cautious about hateful speech. Because if you do, you are, don't do it. If you use hateful speech, or threatening speech, it will be used against you. You are basically in violation of the code of ethics, and you may be asked to to leave and not be able to practice real estate as a realtor, and may have to practice as a real estate licensee. So so that's just something I want to like comment on, because I think it's really important to think about how you carry yourself and what you put out there. You may have your own views, but when we are with our clients, our job is to help serve them in the real estate capacity, and it's about them, not us. So that's just my 2 cents. Okay. Okay. Now on to the 20%. So real estate business posts. So here are some things that we can post about. Listings. Hey, you got a new listing coming up? Fantastic. Blast it out there. Let people know, hey, I've got this fantastic listing. Open houses. So we just had an open house class yesterday. So post it out there. And we talked about the frequency of posting. Like if you have an open house that's coming on, you should already have your open house picked out by Monday, and posting, you know, reminders or doing separate posts like daily, like, hey, we're here, we're here, we're here, and try different avenues, right? So, and then awards. If you've been recognized for production or oh my gosh, anything, whatever. We're getting ready to have the gala. So the gala will have awards, and that's an opportunity to pat yourself on the back and be like, yay! Even if you're not receiving an award, can I tell you something? I think it's an opportunity for you to pat yourself on the back. It's an opportunity to be able to be like, I am so excited to be part of a company that celebrates my peers. I'm proud to be part of KW. They are here to encourage us, whatever. And like you're part of the number one real estate company of Alaska, probably worldwide too. So I'm just saying that there's opportunities out there for you to just toot your own horn and be like, I'm proud of me. And this is why. And this is why I love what I do from a humble heart, from a place of service, right? Speaking events, or I'm going to say / education. Maybe take a selfie of yourself with your computer and say, yay, I'm doing this fantastic real estate education and I'm learning so much. Can't wait to apply it into my real estate business because I'm investing in myself, my education, and that way I can serve my clients better. Just some ideas. So whatever it is that you're doing in your day-to-day life, real estate wise, I've seen also people are like, a day in the life of a realtor. So what are some of the things that we don't get to see behind the scenes that you think we should post about? All right, go. Tell me. To those of you on Zoom, if I didn't hear from someone, I would love to hear from you because I've had Nani talk to us, Stephanie and Kelsey and Jacob. Anybody else in the day of the life of a realtor, how would you approach this? What would you
Probably
post
your
about?
schedule.
Say again?
Your schedule, what your day is like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like a snippet of your schedule or like whatever, maybe showcasing like what it looks like to host an open house or what does it look like to door knock or what does it look like to fill in the blank, right? Yeah.
We just did
Awesome.
one with Cora where we did attending an inspection, and it was just her driving there and talking about the importance of inspections. And then she got to tag the inspector, which then puts your information out in front of their audience.
Yeah, for sure. Yay. Exactly. I love that. And I know we have inspectors out there who totally we have inspectors out there who are like, oh my gosh, look what I found. And like they post like really interesting things or like, look what I found in this attic or look at this secret door or look at this issue. And this is something that we've come across. Like, wouldn't it be fun for you to be able to do something like that in a positive way? I would caution you about like complaining about the industry. Like maintain positivity. I think I shy away. I don't know about you guys. I will just speak for me. I shy away if there's like bashing of other realtors or bashing of the industry. I think that needs to be done in private. Um, that's my stance. And we never know what's happening on the other side. We don't know what's happening with someone else's life. So my intention here is to really guide you guys towards positivity and like what do you have control over and what is the message that you're putting out there.
May I add to that?
Yes, please.
So, like, one thing I hate is I know this is bad, but cold calling. But
It's the word.
right?
He doesn't like cold calling. Do any of us like cold calling? Like if you do, please like, wow, you guys, you're alien or something. All right, go
Well,
ahead.
I took that as a post and spun it to a positive thing of I recorded myself and did the Russell Wilson from and hello, my name is Russell from Troop, and like did that and then put a thing on the screen being like, this is how I feel when I cold call.
Yes.
So like I spun something that I feel negative about into a funny situation.
I love
and
that.
it, people love that kind of thing. Like so if you feel negative about something, spin it to a positive and, make light of it, I guess.
I love that, Jeremy. And I actually watched that video, like when you posted that.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the cutest thing ever. So for those of you, if you haven't watched the movie Up, there's this little boy that's a Boy Scout, and he has this cute voice, and it almost sounds like, "Hi, my name is Russell, and I am here to assist you." And so it's funny you should say that because early in my real estate career, I feel like a little Girl Scout asking for business. Excuse me, I'm calling to see, and I'm like, I could hear it in my voice. My voice changed, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, our phone voice actually. And now I have friends who know my voice changes, and they're like, they say, Sharon, we love your realtor voice. As a matter of fact, let's speak about this transaction. I'm like, oh my gosh, guys. So if you have friends that bust your chops, like, like whatever. Okay. So anyway, let's keep going. But yeah, so really, like you can have fun. I really want your personalities to come through when you're posting. Like, what are things that you think people should hear about? Like in anything else regarding real estate?
I did yoga poses to stage at home.
Ah, fantastic. How
Like, how would I stage this? And like, did a squat for a chair.
Oh, you the
And
chair pose?
yeah, and then I got into like a ball for a table. And then for the plant, I did a tree, like a weird tree
Oh,
pose.
very cool.
And like, I just did like clips of that. And I just said, this is how I would stage the home. And then like, I labeled it,
Yeah.
and people loved it. They think it's
Yes.
hilarious. And, they loved all the weird positions I got in for it.
Good. Well, see, and that's personality and just silliness coming through. You don't have to be a serious, stuffy realtor.
People
I,
wanna see a fun
yeah,
person.
people want to see like your personality come out. Like, in addition to that, like I love that recently I noticed that like Kira Dreher has been posting stuff that's
With
super,
her husband.
yes, with her husband. And or
talking to herself.
yeah, and she was sitting on the couch talking to herself. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love the fact that I'm seeing Kira be like silly and playful, and I know Emily has something to do with this. Yes, Emily, great job if you're on the call. Like, and so guys, I'm really like encouraging you guys to hop onto social media, check out other people's posts, other realtors posts. Like, what ideas can you get from that? Like, ooh, if they've gotten great engagement, then oh, I know. Helen
Cannot wait.
Helen is like, and her dance moves. I'm like, yeah, I know. At the gala, I'm like, I know who my dance partner is. Like, I'm gonna bring a little bit of Batman vibes or something. Anyway, we're gonna do great. Okay, so hold on a second. I think I'm backing up here. I got a little trigger happy with my mouse. All right, here we go. Yeah, so this is, I mean, it's just fun. I think social media can be fun. I totally want you guys to bring your personality out, your likes, the things that you enjoy. Why do people like you? Why do you like people? What are your common interests? Or if you don't like people, we've talked about this, people. If you don't like people, you're in the wrong industry. Like, go be an appraiser. No, I'm kidding.
See, that's a great post.
All right. Anyway, this is being recorded. Luckily, no appraisers are here. So, anyway, so we're going to go above and beyond. So, 10% community service. So, here's a great opportunity. Like, we have had kind of a wonky winter with crazy roads. We've got snow. We had wind that we were like, it just felt like, what's happening with the wind? So here's bonus points. If you guys are like, I'm an overachiever, I have to get 110%. Yes, do this, please. So going above and beyond is commenting on like community service. So if there's lots of snow, wouldn't it be great for you to be like, hey, if anybody needs a list of plow companies, DM me. I'm happy to share my list with you. Or if you don't have one or you'd like to add to your list, hey guys, I'm looking to build my list of vendors. Who do you recommend for XYZ? We've talked about this, like building your vendor list. Use your community to be able to help you. This is a great door knocking opportunity, by the way. I'm just going to put a side plug for door knocking. Door knock your own neighborhood. I know this is about social media, but when we talk about vendors, if you're like, I don't know what to door knock about, if it's not about an open house or like, what else can I talk about? Couldn't you just walk around and be like, hey, I'm your local realtor. I'm actually your neighbor, and I'm putting together a list of vendors that, a list of vendors that I can share with our community, because some of us have had really great experiences. Others of us, if we had wind damage, some of us are looking for people who do siding or roofing or handymen. Who have you used recently that you absolutely love? I'd love to be able to add them to the list. And if you're interested, I'd love to be able to share this list with you. What's your email address? Ooh, drop the mic. I'm waiting. Okay, yeah. So totally make sure that you are thinking as far as that. How can you be of service to the community? And then people are very receptive to that. So same thing, do that, translate that into social media. Make sense? Does anybody have anything to add to this or any thoughts?
Be authentic.
Just be authentic. Yep, we had a passerby just say, be authentic.
Just pay attention to what's going on. When Western Alaska went down, I went and I just posted a carousel of all the what AFN and Alaska Native Heritage Center said to donate to,
Yes.
and stuff like that, and
Yes.
just did a post myself, and in helping out the community itself. And I do follow a lot of nonprofits. Just once in a while, yeah, I'll just post something of that I feel is important and that can help them help the community.
For sure. Thank you for sharing that. And that's huge. Like, we are connectors. So think about that. We are connectors to the community. So find what that superpower is, find what tugs at your heartstrings, and post on that. Let's see what else. Okay, so here are some ideas, right? Some opportunities. We talked about like some opportunities for like talking about community service, or if there's like a disaster, like Jeremy mentioned, posting resources. But then what about, and this one I've seen recently, what about tax assessments? Oh gosh, we just already had a, yes. Yeah, tax assessments. Hey, have you gotten your tax assessment? Do you disagree with this amount? DM me, let's connect. Or, hey, here's a resource to be able to da 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 da. Or, hey, are you using the opportunity, if you're a veteran or if you're a senior, are you using your tax exemption or like whatever, So be the resource, provide the links, be the connector. Does anyone have anything else to add on that? Because also, I know that we could offer a service to help, give an opinion of value, and that could be of service to our clients. Or like, you could also help share information from the community. Hey, school closures, or a food bank, or animal shelters, or hey, there's this happening in the community. Someone was devastated from a house fire. Can we offer to help? Like, think about that. Like, be that person. Okay, I think we've covered a good portion of that. All right, I'm going to pause here, and I would like to hear at this point from what we've talked about, either an aha or an actionable item that you plan on taking. And I'd like to hear from you guys on Zoom first, and then I'll come here in person. Any ahas? What are your actionable steps at this point? Kelsey, Isaac, Jacob. Jacob, I know you're probably busy with kiddos. Kelsey might be too. Matt, I see you're here too. Anybody have an actionable item that they'll do, or maybe you're already doing and you'll try to implement?
Maybe not be scared to connect and talk with people.
Yes. Wonderful, Isaac. So what is your actionable item? You're not gonna be scared and actually just read. All you have to do is you're commenting.
Yeah, and
You're
like talk to
commenting, you're
people and
reaching out, connecting. Okay, Nani said action item, calendar and time my social media time. Yeah, absolutely. Like, when are you going to block that time? And I'm going to offer a little tip here. I took a couple social media classes this past December, and I learned from some experts that the ideal time to post is between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. And so if you're able to make it in that window, just across the board, kind of a general stroke, just think about that. Or there's another way. Just observing when are people like most engaging with you and your social media? And there's a way to look at this. We won't go into it, but I want to say that if you just notice, when are people most engaging? And sometimes it varies by region or area. Just notice that and try to make that your time and just kind of maybe play around with it. What does that look like?
I'll say for me,
Yeah, tell me about your experience. Mm-hmm.
when it gets dark out.
Oh, yes.
People start scrolling when
Yes.
the sun goes down.
Mm-hmm.
That, and then I weirdly have a group of people who love to scroll after 10 p.m.
Yes. That has been my experience. Yes.
Yes.
That has been my experience too. It's usually like either right before or after dinner, like when the sun goes down, I'm noticing that all of a sudden I've got like on something, and I'm like, oh, interesting. And then I've got my 3 a.m. posters. And I'm like, you guys are up too? Oh my gosh.
That's when I get comments weirdly
Yeah,
enough. Like,
comments. I'm like, you're supposed to be sleeping. And they're like, you too. I'm like, it's the 3 a.m. club. So just notice what you notice. And there you go. There's your DM for the day. You're like, man, I got all my DMs done and all my likes before the sun came up. So like, find your rhythm, find what works for you. Okay. You guys are so much fun. This is really great. I will say let's take a 5-minute break. So, go leave some water, take in some water, and then we'll be back here at 10:08. Let's resume. All right, here we go. So, we're going to talk about social media strategies. So we talked about knowing basically how often you're going to post, ideally daily, but some people will do kind of like a weekly recap. Just know what works for you and your schedule. But I highly recommend that you make social media part of your lead generation strategy. It is highly effective. And we have licensees that use this at a high level. They'll be here Friday to be able to talk more about it during our enrichment. And we're going to find out from them what their strategies are, and bring your questions. If you have questions that arise, make note, because this is your opportunity to be able to connect with them. So, so if you're like most people, and this is what we're noticing, most people are on social media every day, like 365 days out of the year. Most people, right? There are people who take digital media detoxes and like, yep, I got to shut it all down. I've got to be fully present, because it can be addictive. That's why we need to also know when we're going to time block. When are you going to do this? And are you going to go down a rabbit hole? And if you go down the rabbit hole, is that preventing you from doing the other parts of your job? Right? So, I'm curious. I'd like to take a poll, because this is something I'm curious about. There are lots of social media platforms. We've got, we've got TikTok, we've got Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Some people use LinkedIn. Like, what do you guys use? Like, what are your top two that you use currently? We'll start here in person. What do you guys use?
Facebook and Instagram.
Fa-
I'm a very casual TikToker.
Uh-huh.
Very casual. I'm starting
Okay.
I would like to be more on there, but I know you do a ton on there.
Sweet.
So.
So tell me, Jeremy, what do you use?
I actually mostly scroll through Instagram and Facebook, but I use TikTok to create my posts.
Ooh, okay.
Because I like the editing on that. So
Nice.
yeah, that's how I became a TikToker.
Nice. Well, how about you guys on Zoom? What do you guys like to use?
I do Facebook and Instagram. Thankfully, they're synced together, so anything I post to Facebook goes to my Instagram, and then TikTok as well.
Wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else? I know we've got a couple people here who are new to social media, and so that'll be good. Just focus on one and get comfortable with that, and then you'll start to expand and grow. All right. Okay, super. So we'll talk about social media strategies. So you're connecting with people that you know or you've met in one way, shape, or form, right? And most of these people are friends on Facebook. Okay. And then most of them are like your friends on Facebook. You may form new connections. Maybe you have a mutual connection or a mutual friend. Some other strategies, you can post about your neighborhood. If you want to showcase a particular neighborhood or your neighborhood, if you're farming a neighborhood and you're like, oh, this has a community center, or this has a local park, or some features, or like, hey, here's some restaurants that are close by, or activities, or this is close to, the medical center and it has trails, or close to the university. This is a very diverse area, constantly growing, or this is a heavily populated area for military. Like, showcase something about the neighborhood. Use images. Like, you have lots of opportunities. If you're not taking your own images, like your own photos, you can use images from Canva. Canva has a whole bunch of stock images that you can create, and you can create your own social media posts. You could do carousels. Carousels are basically where you have an image, or, it could be, if you have something you want to say, each image will have words on it. and then you can scroll and it'll just continue. It'll be a series of images that they'll have to swipe through. Recently, when I took the social media course, they said carousels were like number one. One would think that it would be videos, but that can change. So like which ones get the most engagement. So if you're looking at carousels, you can create that. You can create short videos. But yeah, you could totally create your social media post on Canva, and you have access to Canva. I know Brian's been kind of drilling it in our heads, but if you're not aware of this and this is your first time hearing it, you have access to Canva and like a nice pro account for free through KW. So if you don't know how to access that, message myself or message Brian and we'll be able to help get you started there.
Does the enterprise option let you like, because I know there's one part of Canva that allows you, like you connect it to your social and it will like do a scheduled post from Canva.
Yes.
Does the
You can do
enterprise
that.
do that level, does that?
Yeah,
Okay.
you
Okay.
just have
Yes.
to add the app.
Okay, perfect.
And-
Okay.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
haven't tried that yet, but I was just thinking, wait a second.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's, and I think that's one thing that we will add in is some tips and tricks on using Canva for social media. I think because there's ways for you to integrate your app. You use your KW app, and you can use other apps that will help enhance Canva as a tool to be able to create images and create your social media posts. You can also use it to be able to help schedule. You can create a schedule. You also have Gemini, Gemini Pro. So if you're in your Gmail suite through KW, you can kind of go into Gemini to be able to help you with your planning, or hop onto ChatGPT or use Claude.ai. Whatever AI system you'd like to use, experiment with each one. Some are better calibrated for ones versus others. You can also use Gamma. Look into Gamma. So you can create basically like a social media schedule through Claude AI, like say, hey, I want to have 10 talking points regarding things that first-time homebuyers need to know. And then you can go into Gamma and say, okay, great. Here are my 10 talking points. Create images for this. So it will create imagery, like even like newsletters. So it'll do digital images and products for you. So explore, experiment with that, and then just execute. Stop thinking about it, just do it. You can also use social media to congratulate new homeowners. If you've just closed on a transaction, congratulating your clients on either selling or buying their home. Post about listings. If you have no listings, another option is to market the listings of someone else within KW. My disclaimer here is to ask permission first, make sure that there's written consent, that there's written authorization. And so for those of you who have listings who are like, yeah, sure, go ahead and market. Do you have written consent from the seller for anybody else in KW to be able to market that? If you don't, you may want to consider adding a clause in your exclusive right to sell to be able to offer that authorization. If you don't have it in your exclusive right to sell agreement, then you an email would suffice. But you want some authorization from the seller for any other licensee in KW to be able to market the property for sale. And if you are marketing a property for sale, putting verbiage in there, this listing is this listing, or this is listed, yes, listing courtesy of XYZ on Keller Williams Realty, Alaska Group. And if they're of Wasilla, of Eagle River, whatever, making sure that you give them credit, right? And then also communicating with that listing licensee to see like, how would they like credit? Do they want their photo on it? My personal practice is like, I don't care if it's in like very small words, I don't need my picture in there. I want to promote your business. You are getting those leads. Thank you for acknowledging, my listing. And so that's my practice. But you just want to make sure to have open communication with who you're listing, who you're promoting or marketing that listing from, and what their expectation is moving forward.
Also, if you are promoting a listing, I think this was from pre-licensing class, because it's considered advertising, you need to post with your MLS number in the caption.
Yeah.
Or your brokerage, obviously.
Yeah, brokerage and MLS number must be on there.
Absolutely. And we're getting there soon.
sorry.
No. This is great. So you definitely want to make sure that you're offering information, and there are certain key things that you want to make sure that your social media posts have, or anytime you are marketing. But yeah, so we're going to post about listings and then engage. If people are commenting on it, don't post and ghost. Engage. And then monitor your messaging system, whatever that is. If it's Messenger, monitor that and make sure that you're communicating quickly. Speed wins. So if you're noticing that you're getting comments, don't wait days before you comment. Try to comment as quickly as possible. Okay. Okay. So we also want to talk about highlighting your business. Think about hyperlocal information, utilize tech developments, and post client testimonials. So these are some things that you can use, some strategies to highlight your business. Okay. So when we talk about hyperlocal information, we talked about earlier in Ignite, we talked about reporting on the macro and going micro. And when we talked about statistics, specifically, like if you're like, wow, I want to be able to talk about like the market, and the market in the moment. Wonderful. Are you reporting on national? National is macro. Micro would be Alaska real estate. If we get even smaller, what if Alaska real estate was macro, and then micro would be specific to maybe your city. Maybe it's Wasilla, maybe it's Anchorage or Map Valley, Let's get even more hyper local. What if it was, hey, here is the market for all of the Matsu Valley. And that's what we get. We get that snapshot when we get our TMOs, the total market overview. We get those emails weekly that give us some data. What if you were to go hyper local from maybe the valley, which may include Wasilla and Palmer, to the micro level, and you're reporting on homes for sale or local happenings, or maybe community things happening within the ranch subdivision. Maybe you're highlighting new construction that's being built in that subdivision, and maybe some other homes that are existing. How many homes are for sale in that area? So just think about your area and your demographic and what it is that you're wanting to market. And are you getting hyper local? You can also, just as Stephanie had mentioned before, talk about like local happenings and events. We can talk about what's happening in the neighborhood or what's happening locally for families to attend. And then when we talk utilizing tech development right now, AI is huge. And I gave you some resources to look into. A lot of them are free. You can use it for free. And then if you want additional, if you want to go deeper in it, then you can pay for it. But for now, everything I've listed has been for free. So you have Gemini Pro, which is a step above that entry level through your KW Gmail suite. And you also have, you can also look into Gamma and just kind of play around with that. That's going to create like imagery. You have Canva and that is amazing. It actually has its own AI feature that can help create social media posts for you. So you can utilize a multitude of tools to be able to help you. There's other like tech tools that you can use for like social media reels. I like to use CapCut. So CapCut is one. They have templates, and I like it because it has music in the background. It may have multiple like spots for you to drop videos in, or just photos. And so think about that. Think about how you're also recording your videos. Is it going to be vertical or landscape? But using CapCut, you can use it for free, and then it'll just say CapCut at the very end. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to use, and it's fairly simple and easy. And then you can post client testimonials. For those of you who are brand spanking new, we talked about this this week about what's your superpower? How would someone describe your character? If you're like, man, I didn't get any client testimonials or I don't have any, well, reach out to coworkers, friends. Like, why would anyone want to work with you? What benefit do you bring to the relationship? Right? What is your superpower? What do you do well? Art and touching on certain things like, do you have great communication? Do you have great follow through? You have integrity, you're trustworthy. Like, have them talk on those things. And bonus points if it's in a video. Like, that's really extra bonus points. Otherwise, like, just have them send you an email and then you can post testimonials on like, oh my goodness, Jeremy, he is just a fun-loving guy, and he's really he's a go-getter. He absolutely goes and does what he says he's going to do. Wonderful. Well, that's fantastic. So just get in the habit of getting those testimonials and posting them. So that way people will be like, wow, like they're looking at what your character is and how you're moving forward. Okay, we touched on this. Don't post and ghost. Engagement creates engagement. Very, very important. So stay committed to that. Let's see, what else were we going to say? Just want to make sure I touch on things because I go on, let's see, time block. Okay, we talked about time blocking. Okay, yeah. So, another thing regarding don't post and ghost, we touched on time blocking already. I'm just going to circle back on that. If you have a dedicated time every day that you're going to make your phone calls and connect with the people who know you, or it gives you an opportunity to connect with folks, whether in person or over the phone, can you carve out some time for social media? And then this is when you do your 10-5-1, and then you also respond and comment back, when you get comments on your post, to make sure to do that. Next is adding value. So participate in online communities where you offer a unique and valuable perspective. So how are you adding value? I know Helen will comment on this a lot over on Friday when she comes in. She joined different communities, and then there are some that actually will create their own communities, like of their interests, and people will start to join, and it's a great way to network and communicate with others. And then if they follow you, they happen to see your 20% posts that, oh, and by the way, they're a realtor. So they're like, oh, that's right. She's a realtor. Let me get in contact with her. So it's a great opportunity for that. Okay, and I'm going to hop out of this because I want to touch on a couple other things. Okay, so when we talk about social media post ideas, I was like, okay, hey, Gemini, I wanted to know, bless you, I wanted to know, can you create social media posts with hyperlocal information in the Anchorage area? Great. So yes, it's giving me stuff that's happening now. And it's like, okay, great. Here's the weekend planner, Instagram and Facebook. Here's the target. Locals looking for things to do. The image idea, a photo of the snow-covered park strip or a local performer with a guitar, right? And then they even give you your headline. Your Anchorage weekend lineup is looking hot, right? And then whatever. So then here, is some stuff to look at and definitely read over it and verify. Remember, we trust and verify. Anchorage Folk Festival, International Guitar Night, ice skating at Westchester Lagoon. Like, you're offering some information, and it's just, and then they even give you hashtags. Like, hey, and what are your weekend plans? Let us know below. Like that's your post. Here's another one that you can use for X, Twitter, or Facebook, for craft beer. Like, look for what your interests are. If this is up your alley, then they talk about, where you can get tickets, where it's located, and who's your go-to local brewery. Tag them below. You're giving them. Here's the other thing. Call to action. We touched on this week as well. What is your call to action with social media? What are you wanting them to do? And you also want them to engage. You don't want to just give them information, but you're engaging them like, hey, and who's your go-to? And have them comment below. Gives you an opportunity for engagement, right? And then if you happen to attend one of these, taking a picture that, hey, you went to this event, that's part of your 80%, right?
May I add?
Yeah, please.
Tag anything you can,
Mm-hmm.
because when you, especially with other businesses and things,
Mm-hmm.
when you tag them, that gives them the opportunity to share it.
Oh, perfect.
And so, like, I tag everything, and a lot of the businesses will actually repost or share it to their story. So you're getting what's called UGC, which is user guided content. And so instead of it just hitting your sphere, you're actually hitting other spheres.
Nice.
And your reach goes up so much.
Sweet.
So.
Thank you for adding that. And yes, by all means, if you guys have experience with any of this, like, this is an open forum to share like resources, insights, and yes, you totally want to tag whatever businesses, whatever events are happening, tag people. I would like, sometimes I'll just tag people that I think might find interest in this, and then like here, you can go into specific neighborhoods, you can do business promotion, image generation. I would just say go into Canva. Like, if you don't want the weird AI imaging with a woman with the third arm out her chest, then just find something. Or if you want that, and if that's the freak fest that you are attending, then totally okay. I'm not telling you what to do. Remember, be authentic. You do you.
Say Gemini is still in beta.
Yeah. Gemini, yeah, it can be, but that's why, if you lean in on Claude AI, and it's CLAUDE.ai. Yeah, it ends with an E. So CLA, and here, let's just go into Claude. Yeah. I learned it through my training. I have I'm in some coaching groups, and here's Claude. Hi, Claude. So, hey, Claude, I want a social media calendar, and you can do this in Canva too. And then you can get hyper specific. So maybe I want a social media calendar with 80% posts that include my personal interests, Alaska, yoga, foodie, what else? Okay, we'll just say that. Oh, let's say cute dogs.
People love pets.
Yeah. Dogs.
Cats out there.
Hiking. Okay. And then 20% posts that include my real estate business, like Wednesday, but business. Business. Let's say first time, like whatever your superpower is. If you're like, I love working with first time home buyers. I'll just say open houses, attracting sellers. Okay. And I'd like to post daily, Monday through Friday, if that's just me, right? Monday through Friday, on Instagram and Facebook. If that's my choice. If you want something completely different, then you do you. I'm being very specific about what I want. I'm going to hit go. And it'll think. So great. It's going to tell me. I'm going to create a social media calendar for you to use daily, Monday through Friday, that blends your personal interests with real estate business. So automatically here, week 1. And then if you're like, all right, this is okay, and I'd like a bit more, or I'd love more emojis, or can I use, things that will capture, like that are highly engaging, you can fine tune it from here. Here, posting tips at the very bottom. Best time, 7 to 9 a.m. or 5 to 7 p.m. Hey, Jeremy. Hey, Jeremy. Jeremy told us like, hey, when the sun goes down, and then in the morning time, this is probably after the 3 a.m. people are like, I need coffee. What else is happening? So use stories, share behind the scenes daily, engage, respond to all comments within 2 hours. Ooh, bing, bing, bing. Did we talk about this? Hashtag mix popular plus local tags, 8 to 15 per post. Tag local businesses, locations, and clients with permission, right? Content ratio, 16 personal posts, which is 80%, plus 4 business posts, 20 per month. Let's go up and let's see what it created for me. Ooh, I'm excited. So Monday, personal hiking, photo of your favorite Alaska trail, starting the week with gratitude for these views. Flat top never gets old. What's your favorite Anchorage hike? Boom. Yoga. Maybe Jeremy and I'll do yoga poses at houses.
I
Yeah.
actually used to train acro yoga, so
You did acro yoga?
yeah, I was actually acrobat once.
Okay,
Based on
well-
Jimmy Jones.
Well, then you need to highlight that. Whatever your superpower is, guys. Wednesday, foodie, guys, I love to eat. So I love to eat.
Don't
So
be afraid to take a picture of your food.
I love taking pictures of my food. It's like, don't touch it. No, don't touch it. I want to take a picture of it first. So that's a big thing in my household. We're like, let's take pictures of our food. Thursday, business, first-time home buyers. So an infographic, first-time home buyer, here are 3 things you need to know before starting your search in Alaska, you know? And then if you do whatever, so then it gives you ideas. And then you can take this and plug it into Canva. And Canva can help create it. Look, cute dog photo with your client's permission. Or your dog's permission. Oh, my dog is hilarious. My dog, it like has a personality. So I should probably post more pictures of her because she steals butter. We find bite marks in our butter. Like we have to hide the butter.
My child, the dog.
Yeah. So we hide the butter and we call her Butterface. So then our Christmas ornament has like a little butter thing. Anyway, but tell people your story. So is this helpful? And then you can, like, this gives you at least the schedule. You're like, okay, what am I going to post? There you go. There's your 80/20, right? Um, Another idea. I had pulled stuff up for you guys. Let's see. We went back to like, yeah, so whatever that is, like I use Gemini. And if you guys are like, okay, where do I find Gemini? If you are in your, this is not it, and ignore how many emails I have. So for those of you that are like, go my inbox, this one's not as good either. But you go here in your KW account, right? And then there, boom, Gemini, right there. And then ask Gemini anything, right? So I also talked about like, hey, here's Matsu real estate seller talking points, right? So if I hop into that one, like, wonderful. Here's my, here, let me move this out of the way. Weekly posting tip, the 3-2-1, 3 stories per day, 2 reels or video per week, and 1 big post, carousel or photo. So just follow like the schedule we gave you to be able to look into that. Something else I wanted to talk about. In Command, you hop into Command, right? And here you go into Connect. And you can go in and search content like for social media. And it will have other educational posts. I also, in it, there's like a social media, come on, Sharon, social media playbook. I highly recommend that you download this if you'd like. For those of you that are in PC coaching, I've created a folder. We have like in our Google Drive with resources, I've created a social media folder. So it has this, and as I gather information, I will share this with you. But you guys can totally find the playbook in the KW Connect. I'll slow down. KW Connect, social media playbook. It should be in here. Where is it? Here we are. So if you do like PDFs, this is like probably a page out of it, but here's an AI playbook. I don't know where I found. Oh, here it is. No, there's AI again. There is a social media playbook. If you guys can't find it, reach out to me and I will get this over to you. And so it talks about how engagement has grown through social media. 4 primary reasons we love social media for SOI. Remember, we talked about SOI. That's your sphere of influence. It gives you reach, targeted advertising, return on investment, lowest cost. Look, guys, advertising on social media has some of the lowest costs per lead, and it's easy to track the results of your campaigns and posts. Engagement. So, super important. Post to social media. Use the like model to create content. Schedule posts. Step 2, target my database. Step 3, you're interacting with friends and followers, comment, direct messages. Like, I'm not making this stuff up. Step 4, add new friends, follow new people, make friends, yay. Yay. So step 5, create and curate an online niche Facebook group. You love food, you love foodies, you love charcuterie boards, you love dogs, you have a Bernese Mountain Dog? Great, let's create a local Bernese Mountain Dog group. Whatever your super interests are, do it. Like, just create one. You love football? Great, create a football group. Whatever. Then local lowdown. Like, this is giving you like so much stuff, so many ideas. But let me tell you something. The key is, what is the one thing you will do and implement that today? It's great to collect all this information. It's great to have so much at your fingertips, but it's easy to get overwhelmed. So my challenge to you is start with the 10 likes, 5 comments, 1 DM or post or share. Okay, start there. Once you get in that habit and you've time blocked it and you're like, I'm so good, I'm like not getting distracted and pulled into a bunny hole. Once you've checked those things off and you develop a rhythm, then start to look at this and get ideas. These are people who have done it before you. This is stuff that you can talk about, that you can post. How do you engage? You've seen people do this or that, you know? Do you prefer to shop online or in store? And then look, hey, there's your logo or whatever. So yeah, so totally. This gives you a complete playbook. And look, it's like 23 pages long, but it even talks about like, it gives you like a social media kind of calendar or ideas, local information about real estate, know me or engage followers. It gives you ideas, or maybe use Women's History Month and a design in Command or design in Canva, right? Creating marketing material. This talks about using Command. Guys, I love Canva. Canva is so much fun to create social media. It'll have templates. You want to create something with Instagram? It already has Instagram post templates for you. No, no. Oh, no. Go back. Hold on. Let's do that again. Canva. Okay, this is my personal one, but we can toggle. You see how it has a red banner? That is your KW one. KW plus Canva is here, right? And then templates. Let's say you want an Instagram or Instagram post. Or maybe Instagram post carousel. Whatever that is, let's go there. And it gives you a whole bunch of stuff to look at, right? So you can play around, and some of them will have like multiple pages, like here's a carousel. So you can play around with any of these. Another thing I wanted to touch on. Going into my Google Drive. Okay, for those of you in PC coaching, but those of you who aren't, I am going to.
You do have a social media tab.
Yeah, that's brand new. So I do have a social media tab here now. Logo marketing, those of you that are in PC, and those of you who are not, who would like this resource, I'm always happy to share it with you. But here I have the KW Style and Identity Guide. This basically just gives you guidelines about using colors and social media and designing yard arms or like our signs. These are just general guidelines. This is, remember, macro level with KW, right? Email signatures, like what's required, right? But I also have a cheat sheet here. Oops. Hello. We also have a cheat sheet here that I created, a KWAG logo link. So basically, here are the things that you need to know when marketing. You need to make sure that you include the Keller Williams Realty Alaska Group logo. Okay. It looks like this. And if you're like, ooh, where do I get that logo? Boom, logos to download. You have the opportunity to have one with a transparent background. It could be this with gray and red, or it could be all white. Yeah, so there's options here. You just click this to download that. So when you're marketing, you have to make sure that has the logo, or it states written out Keller Williams Realty Alaska Group. If that covers Anchorage, right? If you're in Eagle River and your license hangs in Eagle River, then it'll state Keller Williams Realty Alaska Group of Eagle River. Say that 5 times. And then or if you're in Wasilla, Keller Williams Realty Alaska Group of Wasilla. Or if you're in Soldotna, whatever that looks like. But here's a no. I'm shaking my finger at you. No. We don't do KWAG. Don't abbreviate. Okay. So if you're doing a social media post, if it's in the description or if it's within the image, you're doing your open house flyers, make sure you have that. And one more thing. Number 2, include verbiage that states each office is independently owned and operated. So these must be on your marketing materials. Okay. Do we have any questions so far?
Just a suggestion
Brian has a suggestion.
coming in. So what I did was I built my brand logo. And in my brand logo, I put our KWAG logo in the brand so that I can never use my brand without the KWAG logo in it.
Yes.
Mine's a little Alaska fishing line with a fish and it's got the logo at the end. And then what I do is for social media, I make that my profile picture. So nobody can look at anything Brian KWAG stuff without the logo and the brand showing up at the top. So then if you accidentally forget to put the logo in your flyer, if you accidentally forget to put the text in, every single thing that has anything on it has the brand with the logo in it. And that just makes life a little easier. So when you're building out your brand for marketing, just add a little KWAG logo to it. And then it makes it pretty much, you don't have to worry about it. Because they are actually going after people who are not identifying their brokerage.
Like
You'll
the
see that,
MLS.
you'll see, so the real estate
That's what I meant,
commission,
the commission, yeah.
yeah. You'll see that, you'll see a post from a realtor in another office and you can go to their page, you can go to all of their things and it never tells you what office. And I didn't really notice how much that was a thing until I started having to do more recruiting. And when I see their posts online and I want to go, oh, what office is that person with? And you click 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 and you never find out what office they work. I got to go to MLS to find out where they are. I use that as a recruiting opportunity and call them and say, hey, this is Brian Sherburne at Keller Williams. I just want to make sure that I saw your post. Awesome. Want to know if there's any time you would like to talk about coming over to Keller Williams. And oh, by the way, I just noticed that on your site that you don't have any identification for your brand. And just to give you a quick heads up to help you stay out of trouble, they're looking for that. So please make sure if you get a time to watch out for that moving forward. And most of them are like, oh, thank you. I never knew that. And nobody in my office ever told me that. So I kind of use it as an opportunity to get in and start talking to them. But I was surprised by how many people advertise, and especially on social media, and don't identify their brokerage at all. So
Well, how are they gonna find you is the big thing too.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
yeah, not only are they doing themselves a disservice, they can also get themselves in trouble for that. So
Signs aren't gonna.
just make it part of your logo, make your logo part of your page, and then just allow it to do it for itself.
Did you guys online hear all that? I hope so.
Kelsey's on mute, so she can't hear.
No, we have a bunch of people on.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they commented.
Isaac. Jacob.
Some?
Good.
You heard some of it. Okay. Okay. Well, in general, Brian said he attaches his logo to the KWAG. So anytime he's going to use his logo, it's on his marketing material, period. So it's never missed. Um, Also for his profile picture, he uses Steelhead. So there's no question about like who's marketing. Also, it's important because people are getting fined for not including this information. Was there anything else? Did I miss that? Does that cover like the gist of it? Okay, sweet.
It's a one-click rule.
It's a one-click rule. Yeah.
So they should be able to identify your brokerage within one click.
Mm-hmm.
So if you click more than one time and if I can't identify where you work by clicking on something, then you're out of compliance.
Yeah, so it's a one-click rule. So you need to be able to they need to be able to not click more than once to be able to try to find like, well, who's your brokerage? Who are you with? So making sure that you are putting that out there. So I hope that helps. Okay, let's go back here. So let's go back to my view. Okay, so we talked about some social media strategies. Let me go back here. Okay, so here's your opportunity. I'm sure everybody has their phone with them. I want you to go ahead and hop online and go ahead and post or comment, like, and I'll give you about 5 minutes to do this. And then let's touch base. So about 5 minutes, let's go ahead and actively hop on social media and do that.
Are you guys doing your Ignite social media posts, the 10-5-1s? Daily?
Yep, they're
So-
doing it daily.
Just to give you guys some insight on that, I don't know if Sharon's already shared it, and if she has, just say, yeah, we got it, Brian, we already heard it. The 10-5-1 is an algorithm tool that they've used within Keller Williams that basically says that if you do these certain things, this is going to allow you to be the most bang for your buck as far as showing up on your clients and your friends' timelines, right? Because if you're not actively commenting, if you're not actively participating, liking, and things like that on their timelines, eventually you'll drop out of their timeline and you won't show up on their timeline. You guys know you have friends that have been Facebook friends for a long time that you haven't talked to, and for whatever reason you never see their posts on your timeline, and that's because you haven't interacted with them. You also notice that if you like or share something on somebody's post, that all of a sudden you start seeing them more frequently as an active participant on your timeline. It works the exact same way in reverse. So by participating in their timeline, then they can see your timeline, which allows you the best opportunity to be in front of those clients in social media. So they figure if you do the 10-5-1, that's, you could do more, of course, but they figure once you go beyond that by too much, it loses its, I don't know, you're too much showing up there and you have too much on your timeline, which will limit your timeline in a different direction, basically, right? So the 10-5-1 is what they figured out is the best bang for your buck to make sure that you're showing up on as many people's timeline as possible and that they're showing up on your timeline as much as possible, because it's also important that you're watching what they're doing in their activities, because if they say something like, we're so excited, we're going to PCS to my favorite place ever, and we're going to be moving to Florida, and it doesn't show up on your timeline, it's really hard to know that and be the first one to know that, because if it did show up on your timeline, then you have the opportunity to reach out and say, hey, so you're moving to Florida. Are you going to sell your house here? Can I get you in touch with somebody in Florida? And social media is a great way to get clients. Helen is almost exclusively social media and she's killing it by doing exactly that. staying active in people's timelines.
Yep, and Helen will be with us
Is her
on
and
Friday.
Damon, are they gonna be recorded tomorrow? I'm on a plane
Yeah,
tomorrow.
everything's gonna
Okay.
be recorded. So
Okay.
yes, Helen will be joining us. I forget that Friday is tomorrow.
I know, right? How do we get recording of tomorrow if we're not?
Message me.
Okay, perfect. Shoot a message tomorrow.
Yep, message me and I'll get you guys recordings if you'd like it. And I'm creating a landing place for all of our recordings.
Okay. Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, and if we're not friends, we should be friends on social media.
You know, it's something funny. Somebody at, I don't remember if it was family reunion or mega camp, but I think it was family reunion. Said that he does as a habit, all of his social media stuff, not his posting and things like that, but all of his interactions on social media when he goes to the bathroom. Cause you always go to the bathroom at least once a day. And you're always playing with your phone on in the bathroom.
2 more minutes, guys.
So that's when he does all of his.
Brian's sharing great tips about posting while you're in the bathroom. If you guys can't hear on Zoom. But you have to time block it.
Yeah, don't move.
Bathroom sessions to coincide with your social media.
And make sure you don't accidentally Facebook Live.
No Facebook Lives in the bathroom. No, that would be bad.
Supposed to get cold again.
Mhm.
I'm excited about cold again.
I do like the horror
With
films.
my parents.
You're moving with your parents.
I'm moving with my parents.
I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people that say that this year. This year's been rough.
Dedicated.
All right, guys, we're going to start wrapping it up. And if you are finishing up a post or likes on social media, I'd love to hear from you guys on Zoom. Tell me about your experience. What did you notice? What did you like? What did you see? I know some of you might not be available on Zoom, but for those of you that are, just jump right in. All right, we'll jump right into ahas. Any ahas? Oh, how about you guys here in person? What was your experience posting?
I'm still working on it, but I'm gonna do a post because there was the news today about the assessment values going up in
Mhm.
Anchorage. And so I'm working on a carousel of just kind of basic education and what this means for the market.
Perfect. Great. And how about you?
I'm saving my post because I have a closing here in like just a few minutes with
Sure.
some friends, so I was gonna do a
Did you
little
have an
post.
opportunity to like or
Yeah,
share?
I liked a couple.
Beautiful. Okay, great. And what did you see when you were liking?
It's funny, my first thing I pulled up was like, there's Kira and her team doing her things, and so anyway, it's just like fun to see other realtors, so like, I think it's a way to network too with like other people in our community,
Yes.
so.
By the way,
yeah,
what is your
so.
Instagram?
Megan knows vacation.
Okay. And when I hopped onto Facebook, I just saw something that was inspirational and I chose to share it. Let me see what I posted. I like inspirational things. So she had like a reflection prompt. Where in your life are you trying to shine instead of simply being? Where in your life are you trying to be something instead of allowing yourself to be present? And so I shared that inspirational prompt, and it'll be interesting to see how much engagement I get with that. And then I would also encourage you, it's always nice to like other realtors' posts, and they're not going to get you business. So if they're here local, or maybe you have a collaboration, maybe you're in the Valley or they're in Anchorage and you want to create like a referral partnership. I do want to encourage you to like and share other realtors' posts. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is don't include that as part of your 10-5-1 system. Okay? That's just bonus points.
I will say, just because my kind of comedic real estate life things work for me very well.
Yeah.
And I kind of use that as a personal thing of just like funny anecdotes of the life of a realtor.
Yeah.
Me and Zoe are actually collaborating together.
Cool.
She's mostly Wasilla and I'm Anchorage, so it kind of works out of, and so we're actually doing a collaboration day together.
Beautiful.
We built pitch decks and are gonna do a bunch of filming at one of the empty houses
Nice.
that Top Homes is listing. So
Beautiful.
yeah. Anyway, so do it with a friend.
Yes. Yes. I like that too. So for those of you that might not have heard Jeremy, like partner with a friend, like you could totally help one another out. And it's helpful to have somebody, hold the camera for you. Or we'll talk about gear as well tomorrow when Helen and Jamin come in, maybe what they use, what their tips and tricks are. But otherwise, the goal here is for you guys to get out there and do it. And congratulations on picking something to do and finding one aha and moving forward. So, moving forward, this concludes our class for social media. For those of you who are doing our success system, and for those of you who aren't familiar with it, I encourage you to stay and listen up. So basically, we have a daily success system where we are doing 10 conversations. We're having 10 conversations, we're adding 10 contacts to Command or whatever CRM you use. We're doing 10 handwritten notes. I know Kelsey was doing a great job of finding out, like, all right, let me send all of the birthday cards out for the February babies. Or whatever, your handwritten notes. I had a great time like connecting with you. Thank you so much for a great conversation or whatever. It's been a while thinking of you. Just want to send a little note. You have opportunities, right? And then the 10-5-1 social media engagement. This is part of your daily success system. And then enrichments. So enrichments would be find education out there. Download that social media playbook. Listen to podcasts. You can listen to the MREA podcast. There are also resources online. There is something with, you can find him on YouTube. He's also on social media, but his name is James Shaw, and he has the Inspire Collective by James Shaw. And so there's lots of like videos, or he has a podcast that he puts out there. Usually he goes live on East Coast time, and it's super crazy early for Alaska time. So he puts up those recordings either on YouTube, sometimes you'll find it on his social media, but I encourage you to just fill yourself up with education, other enrichments, go preview properties, take a video of yourself in a property with permission, and then get out there and do things. Okay, so this is at the point where I'm going to stop recording. And thank you for joining us.